everyone, and welcome to the Yarn Journey Crochet Podcast. My name is Holly. I am your host, and I live in Virginia with my husband, my two kids, a cat, and a dog. You can find me on Instagram as you can find me on Instagram as Yarn Journey Crochet. You can find me on Ravelry as Crafty Mommy Corner, as well as Etsy by the same name. I just wanted to welcome all new viewers and thank you to returning viewers for coming back to listen to all my yarny rambles. And yeah, all the show notes, I'm sorry, I have notes here because it seems like I always get sidetracked and I'm trying to get a little better. You can find all the show notes down below in the description box, and all the links will be in there as well. And you can also find all the show notes on Ravelry, which is where we are holding a crochet along at the beginning of the new year on January 7th. We are going to be doing the Honey Blossom Shawl by Jinty Lyons, and I will go into more of that later with prizes. Or no, let's just get it over with because we want to see the prizes. We want to know. I finally decided what we're going to do for prizes. But yes, starting January 7th and going into February 14th. So that's a 5-week long process to get a shawl done. I'm hoping that's long enough. If not, the date can always be extended later as we start. So we'll see. It is a paid pattern at £1 British pound or $1.30. I kept saying $1.38. It's $1.39 US dollars. I'm not sure of other currencies, so that you will have to check. But overall, it's generally a very inexpensive pattern. So we're going to show the designer some love. So, prizes. I had to get some stuff out of the way. I decided I think it's because the Christmas spirit, I'm feeling generous and I want to give away everything, apparently. So we actually have 3 prizes. 2 being yarn, 2 being yarn, 3rd being patterns. So, first up, you will get, and this is all by random draw. I'm not picking here or there. It's going to be random draw, so don't feel like your shawl may not be as good as anybody else's if you're a beginner. So it's all random draw. No one's going to get picked out because I want them to. It's, like I said, all random. So I hope you all participate because I have 3 prizes. And the first one is 2 balls of Mandala yarn in the colorway Sphinnx. So it's this beautiful blue with some, what is that? I guess it's almost like mustard yellow, but a little darker. Some browns and dark gray. Oh, it's not gray. I think that's like a chocolatey-ish brown. Well, no, that's chocolate. I don't know. There's a lot of beautiful colors in it. And I will go into how we will decide who gets what prize. So, you get, that's the top. Some of these things just kind of get trashed at the store. Oh, that's why. It was just a loose end. So, you get, there's Sphinnx, which is these beautiful neutrals and blues. Beautiful. Love it. Next prize is another Mandala yarns, and this one is in Gnome. So this is the super duper bright, like, oh my gosh, rainbow. So you can get that. So this is Gnome. Then you have Sphinnx, and last but not least, so I went on, I told you about the magazine that I bought like 2 or 3 podcasts ago, and then I lost it and I couldn't find it, and then I was going to buy another one. Well, I ended up buying another one and completely forgot to mention it on the podcast. And my husband found the second one. And these will not be on shelves much longer. They are only going to be on the shelf for, I think, another 8 days. So if you either don't have this where you're at, I'm going to be giving one away because I don't need to. And I love this. There's all kinds of patterns. Let me get to the back. They don't show every pattern, but they show most of them in the back. So as you can see, there's, you know, some nice shawls, some scarves, mug rugs, blankets, head wraps, beanies, mittens, slippers. There's all kinds of stuff in there. And this isn't all of the patterns. There's even more, I believe. There's 24 patterns in here, and this is only showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So they're not even showing 4 of them. So this is another option. As you can see, I don't want to, oh, the pattern that I initially bought this for, which I will show you real quick because I'm getting sidetracked, which are those beautiful mittens. And the reason I got them, not because of this beautiful star, because I love the Norwegian star style. No, because it's Tunisian. I need to, I'm trying to widen my ranges of Tunisian crochet. So that was the pattern that I initially wanted to show you guys like 3 weeks ago. So this is another one. So this is going to have 24 awesome patterns. Yes, they are Christmassy and Christmas is coming to an end, but you know what? Christmas happens every year. So you will have these patterns for next year. Or who knows, maybe you want Christmas in July. You know? So how this works, this is open to international viewers as well. Excuse me. So this is open international. How this is going to work. On Ravelry, we will have a chatter thread, which is talking about all of everything that's going on in the Crochet Along, your progress, rips out, your frogging, and all that stuff. And we will have a finished objects thread. In the finished objects thread, I want a picture, and I also want you to put below what prize you would like. Now, if it just so happens I pull 3 people that want the same thing, unfortunately, you get what you get at that point. But there are 3 awesome options, and I'm hoping we get quite a few participants because I am now sitting, I believe, at 115 subscribers. So I'm super excited, and I'm hoping that everyone will participate, and I think we have some pretty awesome prizes. I mean, there's 3. Yay. I mean, they're not as extravagant as some other, you know, channels, but I'm just starting out, starting little, and I think this is a good start. So yes, in the Ravelry group, which will probably be up, I'll probably put the threads up like 3 or 4 days beforehand, maybe a week. So say, actually, we will put it up on next podcast. So next podcast, which will be, oh no, the next podcast is Christmas Eve. And I don't know if I'm going to be podcasting. We will do on 2 podcasts. Well, possibly next podcast, possibly 2 podcasts from now, because I'm not sure if I'm going to podcast on Christmas Eve, just because there's a lot going on. You know, I have 2 small kids and all that jazz. So we will see. I will have it up on December 31st. So exactly 1 week from the start date, which will be January 7th. So that will be up December 31st. And that way, once everyone starts finishing, we can see everyone's progress and finished objects, and you can tell me what prize you want. And I think that would be the easiest, because me trying to decide, I'm like, I don't want to choose wrong for somebody because I don't know everyone. And yes. Okay, moving on. So those are the prizes. You have Gnome, Sphinnx, or Pattern magazine. Crochet World, patterns. You could just put patterns, Sphinnx, or Gnome. Okay, moving on. I'm trying to make sure these don't fall off my desk. Moving on to finished objects. This week has been a slow week for sure. Like I said, Christmas is coming up. I've finished all my Christmas shopping. I finished all my Christmas makes. So I've just been kind of taking a relaxed break and also doing some selfish crocheting, because it's me time now. I made everybody's stuff. It's me time. So first finished object, I only have one, which is this. So yes, it is the same hat style. This is a beautiful purple, and it's not coming out. Bummer. But this is the Loops and Threads Powdery, and this is in purple. This was the basic Pom Pom Hat by Pezstar, and I turned it into a bun beanie, because sometimes I don't feel like wearing my hair down, or I haven't washed my hair and I don't want to put it down. So I need at least one. I have like 3 bun beanies now, but this one is by far the cutest. And it's knit. My hair, I already have to trim my bangs, and I just cut my hair like a couple weeks ago. I look like a shaggy dog. It's just like, boop. So yeah. Super cute. Love it. Hat hair. So yes, this is my one and only finished object this week, but I have started some new whips. Slow and steady, you know. Slow and steady wins the race. We'll get to the one that we've all seen before that I made no progress on for 2 weeks, which is the Apple My Eye scarf. I'm finally like made some progress. When we last saw it, I just had like this one row of eyelets. So I've made some progress, and this will be a pattern. I'm loving, I mean, it's not a perfect gradient, but I love it. And I cannot wait until this teal comes in. Oh my gosh, it's going to be beautiful. So, as you can see, I mean, right now it's like tiny. So I still have a long ways to go. And then I have to put a border on it and block it. So yeah, and it's like at that perfect size now that you can actually like fold it. If I knew how to fold right. It's like perfect size to fold now. And this is Mandala yarn in Genie. Right? Yeah, Genie. So I made some progress on that. And next one would be this guy, which I put my ball yarn in the sock because I started working on a pair of socks for my husband, and I told him, and I think I said this last week, I'm making you socks. I don't care what you say. You're going to wear them. They're going to be warm and toasty, and you're going to like it. So this is the sock, and it's making this amazing pulling pattern all over the sock. Like, how perfect is that? It looks so cool. Like, when you look at it in person, you don't notice it, but as soon as I popped it on the screen, I was like, wow, that's way cooler than I thought it was gonna look. It's beautiful. And And this is, let's see, where are you? Where are you? Oh, I don't have it. Okay, this is in Loops and Threads Impeccable in the colorway Seaside, I believe. So, yes, this is a sock, which I have to frog the heel because it is, I need to add like quite a few more rows and then re-put the heel on. So, yeah. So I'm just going to pop my ball of yarn back inside the sock because he has huge feet and there's all kinds of ends everywhere. So I'm going to try and finish those. But like I said, I'm totally selfish crocheting right now and I don't feel like giving anybody anything except myself. So, okay, next item kind of drove me bananas. So I decided I was going to use the Hawthorne yarn in Beaumont that I bought from Knit Picks a few weeks ago to make mittens because I didn't want to make socks out of it. There was just way too much. And I was like, well, I don't really want a hat out of it just because the colors aren't going to look well against my face. So I decided mittens. Now, this is the first mitten I made. This is a paid pattern by Jennifer Pionk. It is big, bold cable mittens and fingerless gloves. I saw this and I was like in love as soon as I saw them. They're beautiful. I mean, look at that cable. Like, it's hard. I mean, I don't want to say it's hard because it's done. It's been done. But it's hard to get cables to look really good in crochet. Like, it's super easy to do it in knitting, like, but it's hard to get a good looking cable in crochet without it having gappy holes or not being able to really tell what it is. So I applaud her because this is a beautiful mitten. Now, the problem with this mitten is, which it has nothing to do with the pattern, this is totally my screw up. I did the gauge swatch and my gauge, she says she crochets really tightly, which makes me think I must crochet super tight or this yarn obviously isn't the weight I thought it was. It says it's a sport weight and she said to use light worsted, which to me means sport, right? I don't know. So this is a sport weight yarn by Knit Picks, Hawthorne, and Beaumont, which is now discontinued. It's not on their site anymore, unfortunately. So if you really liked this, you can't get it. I'm sorry. But I like to buy yarns that are going out just because they tend to be a lot cheaper. So here's the issue. Like I said, my gauge must be crazy small because hers was 11 inches by 11 inches and mine was short by 1/4 inch on each side, like on side and top. So I was like, okay, my crocheting must be really tight because my gauge swatch is small. But I was like, well, I don't know why I thought this. I was like, well, it's a super wash. It'll stretch out. I'm not concerned. Blah, blah, blah. So as you can see, beautiful mitten. Only problem is my thumb starts down here. And I can't even get my finger like completely in the thumb. And I did it wrong. So there's a giant hole. I was supposed to attach it right in here and I didn't for some reason. But as you can see, and then this like spreads out so that'll attach down here and make this beautiful little wave. Beautiful. Now that I'm looking at it on screen, I don't know if I would like that color. Like it looks better in person than it does on the screen. Like that's like playing tricks on my eyeballs. So I did this one and this was the medium size. And when I measured, it says it's 4 inches across, and my hand is exactly 4 inches. So I was like, oh, it'll fit, and it's super wash. It'll be fine. It'll stretch out. Like you could see, it's way too tight. And I am going to frog this, and it makes me so sad because I really liked it. But my daughter likes this color, and hers, it was just, honestly, just a little long and a little loose here. So I'm thinking her hand might actually fit the small size because it's like 3 3/4 inches. So I think I'm just going to make it for her, but I have to frog it, and yeah. But I wanted to show you guys my little mishap because I was really upset. I was like, no, my thumb won't even fit into the thumb hole. So, yeah, my disasters are on site for everyone to see. So, I was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm just going to put it aside. I'll show everyone on the podcast, then I'll frog it, and yeah. So, what did I do? I started another mitten, which I have one finished, which is still the same pattern. Ooh, I have to be careful because my ring catches. And I will tell you, I should have done the large from the beginning. I had a feeling I was going to have a problem. So, I love this mitten. I wish it was a little rounder on top. But, I mean, that's literally right where my middle finger is. So, I could just be poking it out. I love the cable. It is so stinking pretty. It's a 12-stitch cable. That's insane. Like, the most I've ever done is 4. And I can't even get that right. So, I'm amazed that I even got this 12-stitch cable even down. So, like, as you can see, you attach it, and I love it. It's super warm and toasty, and this is the Loops and Threads Woolite in Amethyst. This is turning out, it looks blue to me. Like, this is like a beautiful purple. Purple is my jam. It's my favorite color. So everything is in purple. Except, oh, that's awesome. Lipstick teeth, awesome. That was a cute look. I hope that wasn't there the whole time because that would be really embarrassing. Well, everyone, you've seen me at my finest. Lipstick teeth. So, yes. I've gotten one done, and I'm going to make a second one probably today because, oh my gosh, it has been so cold here. And even when you think it's not going to be cold, like it's like, oh, it's 54 out, which is, it's a little chilly, but it's still nice out. You go outside and the wind chill, it's so frigid. And I'm just like, oh my god. And the first things that get cold are my fingers. And I was like, okay, time for Mama to make some mittens. And I'm debating whether or not I want to put actual, like, ribbing here. It would make it, like, super long on my arm. But I don't know what it is. I feel like it's unfinished if it doesn't have some kind of cuff. It's just like my brain telling me there needs to be something else. And I don't know why, but this is a beautiful mitten. Like I said, it's the big, bold cable mittens and fingerless gloves. So they come with, it comes in a small, medium, and large, and each has 2 variations for each size. So for mittens and fingerless gloves. So I don't want to take it off because it's so warm and toasty. So toasty. And like I said, it's by Jennifer Pionk. It is a paid pattern. And I love it. I love cables. cable, everything. I'm just gonna make billions of cables. So, that's it for whips. I put my grandma's pot holder on hold because I've already sent her the, I sent out, I guess we're kind of in chatter now. So, I sent out, I'm sorry, I'm like getting comfortable. I'm like adjusting my Christmas socks and getting cozy. I already sent out all the teacup pot holders to her, like 3 or 4 days ago. So, all of my Christmas presents have been sent, and I figured, you know what, I'm not going to rush hers. I'm going to put it on hold, so we probably won't see it for a while. It's going to be on hold because, you know, she's got her gift. I will finish them eventually. And like I said, I want to do some selfish crocheting. Everyone's got something. It's my turn. You know, I made my socks, but I'm going to be redoing socks for me because they were actually too big. When I put them on, they fit well, but after wearing them for a little bit, they stretched out so much that they were really loose. Like, they were, like, falling down. So, I'm remaking my socks, and I'm going to be using, I've already bought the pattern. It's waiting there for me to start it. So, once I finish my cabled mittens, I'm doing my socks. And it's going to be the Parker Cable Socks by Lakeside Loops. Oh my gosh. Can I just tell you how stinking gorgeous these socks are? Like, she has 2 sets of socks, and she's actually doing, I don't know if it's all the time or if it's just a promotion for around Christmas time or what, but she's doing buy 2 patterns, get 1 free, or buy 3 patterns, get 2 free. And I was so debating on doing it. And I was like, but my husband's gonna kill me if I drop $20 on patterns. Like, because each of her patterns are like $5. And I already paid for the cabled mittens, which were $5. So I was like, well, okay, let's be reasonable here. I'm just going to buy the socks and the mittens, and I will get the other ones later because they have so many cute things. Like, she is like one of the few that have mastered cables in a way that is just gorgeous. Like, it's, like I said before, crochet cables, I feel like they're really hard to look nice, to where they look like they just fit, like it's just perfect. And Lakeside Loops has so many cabled items on her store, and they are beautiful. Like, her socks are no joke. So I got the Parker Cable socks, and there was another one, but I can't remember the name right now. Gorgeous. And I was so debating on buying 2 pairs of socks, and I was like, let's slow down. Let's get 1 pair done first before we buy 2. And the other one, Jennifer Pionk, she's her store name is a Simplicity. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. But she has a bunch of patterns. Like, it's kind of ridiculous how many patterns she has. She had like 6 pages worth of patterns on Ravelry. 6 pages. I was like, well, I'm gonna have to come back because there's so many. So yeah, those are the next ones I'm hoping to get done. My little Merry Christmas. My little jacked up Christmas tree. Whoop, boop, right there. So yeah, haven't got much done because I pretty much have been focusing all on Christmas, getting stuff for Christmas dinner, getting the rest of my Christmas shopping done, getting stocking stuffers and candy and all that good jazz. And I just kind of took a break this week because, like I said, I crocheted my freaking arms off, basically, trying to get everybody's gifts done. And see, that's the thing, is so many people started their like gift making, in like the beginning of December, and I was basically almost done. Like, I have been crocheting gifts since like October because I have to ship them all the way to California, and that takes a while. Like, the last day you can ship, I believe, for priority is the 21st. First class is like the 19th. But I wanted to make sure it was there beforehand, so if anything happened, there was time for it to be fixed. So I sent mine out on the 15th. Yeah, so everybody's done. And, you know, I know my next podcast is supposed to be on Christmas Eve. Well, I'm not really sure if I'm going to be doing a podcast or not. Just because Christmas Eve and my family is very busy. Normally, our Christmas tradition when I lived in California was everybody packed up their car, went to grandma's house, and on Christmas Eve, we would exchange gifts with each other. So, you know, grandma gifts, sister, brother, parents, you know, we all exchange gifts that we bought for each other. And we'd have a big Christmas lunch, kind of, because we all went over there, I would say, we would probably get there around 1. We would have Christmas lunch. We would all eat, talk, hang out, you know, and then open presents. And then after presents, it was like desserts, so pies, cookies, all that stuff. And then we would go home. Well, obviously we're not in California, but I'm hoping that we can Skype and keep that tradition going virtually. And if we can't Skype, I'm still opening presents on Christmas Eve because that's how we normally do it. That would be, you know, that way. And then on Christmas, we open gifts that we bought for the immediate family. So for my husband and my kids, and any presents from Santa, and yeah. But because I'm not obviously going to my grandma's all the way in California, we're going to be baking cookies and making gingerbread houses, and, you know, we want to make cookies for Santa because Santa loves cookies. So, and leave some carrots for his reindeers. So, Christmas Eve is going to be extremely busy. New Year's Eve would be the podcast after that, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing that one because we don't really celebrate New Year's that big here. I mean, I might get something to drink, you know, champagne or sparkling wine, I guess. I guess you can't call it champagne unless it's from Champagne, France. Kind of like whiskey. You can't call it whiskey unless it's from, is it Tennessee or Kentucky? I don't know. One of those states, and if it's not from there, it's bourbon. So, you know, it's one of those things. But anyways, I don't know why I got a little alcohol. Weird. Okay. Oh my god. I keep doing it. Why? This is embarrassing. You know what? I'm not going to edit it out because I'm human. I make mistakes. Whatevs. But, so, probably just get some wine, watch the ball drop, make some dinner, a good dinner, a really good dinner. Lots of appetizers, basically. Yeah. Watch the ball drop, go to sleep, and it's New Year's. It's the new year. Which, can we be serious? I am so not ready for it to be 2018 yet. Like, I still feel like, it's crazy. My son is a year old, and it doesn't even feel like he's been here that long. Like, it feels like it has been, but it, like, in your mind, you almost can't process that it's been a year. And it's just kind of insane. Like, crazy. So, 2018 is right around the corner, and I'm not sure what is going to be in the future for us. I know we are military, so I know sometime next year we will be moving. Where to? That's the beauty of the military. You never know until like 2 months before you move, which we don't know when that 2 months will be. So we will be leaving Virginia, or at least the city that we're in. I don't know if we could be going up Northern Virginia, we could be in New York, we could be in North Carolina, California, Arizona, who knows. Even overseas, which as much as I would love to live overseas and see the different cultures and all that stuff, I think it's just going to be really hard on me because I haven't seen my family in 3 years, and that's rough, you know, not seeing your family for that long when your family is really close. So overseas would be really difficult because, you know, flying overseas is not cheap, and yeah, and it's hard for us to fly. Did I get it? Okay. Now I'm like imagining things that there's stuff on my teeth. Lovely. But flying with 2 little kids is definitely hard. So they would have to come visit me, which means, you know, that's crazy. International flights with kids or, you know, just your parents, that's bananas. But yeah, I don't know why I'm even talking about this. So random. But I guess that's what chatter is for. Randomness. Trying to think what else happened. Oh, I started watching. We have Amazon Prime for TV. And we have Amazon Prime. I don't know why I was gonna I don't know what else I was gonna say we have. But I started watching this show called Lore, and it is so interesting. I literally binge watched 6 episodes, which that's all there is. There's only 6 episodes, but it is super interesting. It tells you how, you know, the legend of vampires came along, and werewolves, and they even had one about dolls. Another one about the guy that created lobotomies. Oh, sorry, I was like totally jiggling my leg and moved everything. It was kind of crazy, and it's super interesting, and it's kind of like those taboo subjects that a lot of people don't want to talk about. Well, I mean, obviously with the blow up of, you know, vampires and werewolves in, you know, Hollywood, it's become more mainstream, but I remember I've always loved monsters. I love spooky stuff, you know, the vampires, the werewolves, ghosts, witches, paranormal, all that stuff. It's super interesting to me. And I love reading about it. I'm a huge reader. I haven't been lately just because, you know, kids, it's hard to sit down and read for a good time without being interrupted. And I'm someone that if I'm reading, don't interrupt me. Like, don't bother me. Where, you know, crochet, I can put it down, pick it up, you know, do stuff in between. But I remember when I was in middle school, I think I was in like 7th grade, and I bought Twilight. Yes, 7th grade me loved Edward and Bella. Now that I'm an adult, I see how cheesy it was, but you know, when you're a young teen, a preteen, that kind of stuff just is the greatest, you know. But I remember I picked it up at Target, and I read the whole book in like a week. And I mean, this is a good sized book, and that one, it took me a week, and it seemed like every book after took me a little less time. There was like, it was crazy sauce. And I remember telling my friend, because I would carry it with me everywhere, and they're like, what are you reading? I was like, it's this book about vampires. And they were like, they gave me some crazy side eye. Like, I was just the weirdest person that could be. And I was like, fine then, Judgy McJudgerson, I'll take my awesome book somewhere else. And it cracks me up because 2 years later, when I went to high school, 9th grade, everybody and their freaking brothers, cousins, uncles, aunts, mothers were reading that book. And it was, oh my gosh, a fashion statement. And it was just like, I've read Twilight. And I'm like, I read the whole series when I was in 7th grade, and everyone thought I was crazy because I liked vampires. But I am totally into that stuff, and my favorite author is Sherilyn Kenyon. Her books are obviously more adult. I can hear you, Emma. You standing on the stairs? Her, obviously, she's an adult writer. There is definitely some very erotic scenes in those books, but the character development is amazing, and I love how she carries characters through each books, but they're not about the same characters. So it's kind of like a group of friends. Well, that's in her night. Oh no, what is it called? Her night. Not night walkers. Night. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. But she has like this huge line of books, and it starts out with one guy, and then it kind of goes into like each book is about a different friend or a different person that they know, but it's all in the same group. So it's super interesting to read about new people while still getting a taste of what the old people were doing and kind of bringing them in. And, you know, that's one thing that I love about books is you can find characters that you fall in love with and you want to know what they're doing, and that's what's great about series. But it stinks when they make a book, but there is no series after, and you're like, well, what are they doing now? Like, they're real people, you know, like, are they going to the movies? Are they facing eternal darkness? That's one extreme to the next, but, you know, I see you. You know, and it's one of those things that you just get so emotionally attached and involved in these fictional people's lives, but that's what's great about it. What?
Why you have lights there?
Because I wanted lights on.
Why?
Because they're pretty. Do you want to sit with me? Mm-hmm. Well, come here. My little co-host for the next couple minutes. He's silly. So yeah, I'm definitely a big reader, but I haven't been reading much, and yeah. What are you doing? Why are you being so weird? Your hair is a mess. You haven't brushed it, have you?
No.
No. Should we do a mustache?
Yeah.
Hold on. I need my other arm for a second. Pretty cute, right?
Yes.
Have some handlebar mustaches. You want to give me a kiss? Well, yes, so I believe that is going to be the end of our podcast. And like I said, I am not sure if I will be doing one. What? You want me to finish the podcast like that? Here, let's get a little piece, because that piece was a little too big. So that's the end of our podcast. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing it on Christmas Eve or not. But, I'll let you know on Instagram. I don't know why I just got like a southern accent all of a sudden. Yeah. So, we will see you either, if not next week, the week after on New Year's Eve. So, what do we tell them? Say like our videos and don't forget to subscribe. Tell them. Tell them. Just tell them subscribe to our videos. Subscribe to our channel. Tell them. You're being a doofus. All right. I'll see you guys later, and I hope you have a great Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Yule, whatever you're celebrating this season. I will see you guys next week, maybe the week after. We'll see. Merry Christmas. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. You just snorted. Snorty McSnorterson. I'm gonna eat your nose. I'm gonna do it.
No!